Thank you. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Matt's brother, Dave. I'd like to thank Mike and Diana O'Brien and my parents, Rich and Roseanne Gleason, for putting on such a wonderful celebration. I'd also like to thank all of you for being here to celebrate Nora and Matt's special day. In the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, there's a scene where, after a long and difficult journey, the archaeologist comes face to face with his most challenging moment. He must choose the Holy Grail among several chalices. At this moment, a ghostly crusader appears to pose a dilemma. He says, "Choose, but choose wisely." Well, today I'd like to tell you why Nora and Matt, in choosing each other, have not only chosen their life's treasure, but have also chosen wisely. I like to think I know my brother pretty well. After all, we spent a lot of time growing up together in Colony. It started when I was 4 years old, and my parents brought Matt home on a cold January day. Frankly, I was a little disappointed when all he did was lay around. I figured they'd bring him home and we'd immediately play Hot Wheels together. And of course that did happen, but not for a while. When we were in elementary school, my brother and I would swing on the swings in the backyard, play in the pool, and play epic games of hide-and-go-seek or water guns in the neighborhood. As we got older, we played Legos and Nintendo, and we'd get together with the Reeds, the Recuperos, the Beadnells, and the Shackneys, and later the Quinns, McCluskeys, and Scringes. And on rainy days, we'd watch a lot of movies, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future. All of which were on the same VHS tape that my father taped from a free week of HBO in 1987. Later, as young adults, we shared the books and the music that we loved, and we took some pretty outstanding road trips, one along with some of our friends that are here today. From all this time spent with Matt, I can tell you confidently that Nora has chosen wisely. My brother has some outstanding characteristics that will help to make him a great husband. First of all, Matt is a very kind, loving, thoughtful, and generous person. You can tell this partly by how much animals love him. Whether it's my grandmother's cats, or my dog Kingston, or the Quinn's tailless dog Teddy, animals just relax around him and he becomes some sort of animal whisperer. You can also tell this by the way he gives gifts. Instead of gift certificates and generic cards, my brother often has a gem of a thing picked out just for you. That really shows he was thinking about you, and somehow he finds the most appropriate and hilarious cards for every holiday. He also has a very calm and controlled demeanor and a great sense of humor. He takes things in stride, he doesn't sweat the small stuff, and he finds laughter in daily life. When you spend time with him, you appreciate his laugh and his clever comments. He's also very tough and will fight for what he believes in. Although he was 4 years younger than me and smaller, he was probably twice as tough. And we were pretty evenly matched in our bouts of living room wrestling, which almost always ended up with something of my mother's getting broken. I can hear her now scolding us and saying, "I just can't have nice things." I also remember my parents saying they would have worried less about me in high school if my brother and I went there at the same time because he could look out for me in case I got into a fight. Although I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be the other way around. Probably Matt's most outstanding qualities are those that have to do with loyalty and hard work. He has always impressed my parents and I by how he could do tasks thoroughly, carefully, and with tremendous focus. Those of you who've worked next to him know that that's true, especially on the many service projects we did with Boy Scout Troop 22. I often observe my brother diligently and conscientiously clearing brush, moving stones, and doing other manual labor, while my friends and I sipped hot chocolate, ate donuts, and avoided doing anything. I can also tell you that Matt has chosen wisely in choosing Nora. Even though I spent so much time with him growing up, I never saw him as happy and as fulfilled as when he started to bring Nora around. They just fit so well together. Although I don't know Nora as well as I know Matt, I know her well enough to tell you that she's a caring, honest, and thoughtful person too. And you should see how wonderful she is with my children, Marin and Miles. She's also a very creative and independent thinking person who's a lot of fun to be around. I know I speak for all of us when I say I'm happy to welcome her to our family. In the end, I know they've both chosen wisely because they've chosen love. They share one of those relationships that is rare and beautiful because it's the kind where they can completely be themselves. And today they made the greatest commitment to that love. In doing so, they echoed a line from another one of our favorite childhood movies, The Empire Strikes Back. It's the scene where Luke says he'll try to raise the X-Wing from the swamp using the Force. The way so many try to reach the kind of loving and commitment that marriage represents. At that moment, Yoda, his mentor, says, "Try not. Do or do not. There is no try." I'm so proud to say that Nora and Matt have chosen to try not, and rather to say, "I do." Lastly, I'd like to look to Nora and Matt's bright and exciting future together. When we talk about the future, it helps to think of the movie Back to the Future. In the final scene, Marty is concerned that there is not enough road to get the DeLorean time machine up to 88 miles per hour and to travel into the future. Doc Brown's response is, "Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads." And he's right. Where you're going, you don't need roads. For happiness in marriage, you need each other. Let your love be the flux capacitor. Charge it with 1.21 gigawatts of passion, and let that take you at 88 miles per hour into a future of happiness and joy. Please join me in raising your glass and toasting to Matt and Nora's future. Salute.